Today we have a bunch of spoilers to talk about, and of course the Boruto anime, especially this Urashiki arc, is definitely heating up and we're getting to the actual climax of what is actually going on. Now before I get into that, I do want to give a huge shout out to the source of all these spoilers, the person who actually translated all these spoilers, which is Organic Dinosaur. If you guys are not following her on Twitter, I highly recommend you guys follow her. The link's going to be in the description below. She talks about all the spoilers. She pretty much translates all the spoilers regarding Boruto as of right now. Now one of the first things of significance that I do see about these spoilers, the fact that the next episode of Boruto is not going to be this Sunday. It's actually going to skip a week. So this Sunday, there's not going to be an episode of Boruto. I'll do my best to still try to upload and give you guys some content, but still, it says it's going to come out on the 24th of November, episode 133. So it's going to be the following Sunday. Now going into the actual spoilers, the title says a village without Sasuke. In order to accomplish the task that was given to them by Jiraiya, Boruto and the childhood version of Naruto resumed their training. Boruto boldly decides to ask Naruto, since Sasuke was your friend, why did he leave the village? Meanwhile, Jiraiya was suspicious about Sasuke's true identity despite the sentiment, and when Jiraiya sees the figure of him earnestly trying to protect Naruto from the dangerous entity of Urashiki, Jiraiya announces that he won't perform an investigation on Sasuke, and so they then cooperate with one another. Alright, now this episode seems to be a chill episode. One of the things that I do want to point out is that we don't necessarily see Boruto or Naruto pretty much interacting with any last generation characters. For example, in the last episode, we got to see a little scene where Boruto did interact with Neji a little bit. A lot of people probably do want to see Boruto interact with characters like Rock Lee, characters like Shino, characters like Shikamaru, but from these spoilers, we're probably not going to get that. The thing that they're definitely looking forward to is actually getting that father and son Rasengan. Now, in my opinion, I personally feel like it's like a little bit played out, man, because so many anime actually done it before. I don't want to say so many anime, but the anime that I pretty much love, which is Dragon Ball Z, they did a father-son Kamehameha, and also in Boruto, they already did a father-son Rasengan as well, back in episode 65 when they did defeat Momoshiki. But this right here might be a little bit different. One thing that I am hoping is that it probably adds a different chakra nature to it, whether it be wind, whether it be water, whether it be lightning, but I just want it to be a little bit something different. And another thing is the fact that I really don't think that this Rasengan is probably going to be the thing that pretty much finishes off Urashiki. I know they're building it up. I just don't think that Urashiki is that weak enough to be caught off guard by two games to pretty much do the Rasengan. Now I might be completely wrong. I just really hope that it's not the thing that does Urashiki in. Now another thing is the fact that of course Jiraiya is going to be looking around and pretty much trying to see exactly who Sasuke Uchiha is. Now in the last episode we heard that Jiraiya pretty much knows that Sasuke Uchiha is Sasuke Uchiha from the future, but in this episode or in the spoilers it says that Jiraiya is not going to be conducting some quote-unquote research on Sasuke. Now that right there seems a little bit suspicious. There isn't really any much research to be done with Sasuke. He already knows that Sasuke is from the future. He already knows exactly what's going on, and of course because Sasuke is trying to save Naruto, he understands that Sasuke isn't necessarily trying to harm anybody. Now at this moment Jiraiya can pretty much assume that in the future Sasuke is going to become good again because he's trying to save Naruto. He pretty much understands like, hey, Sasuke didn't join the Akatsuki and then went back in time, or this isn't necessarily a ploy from like Orochimaru or something. I think that Jiraiya understands that. That's why he's probably not going to be researching Sasuke. Now what they're going to be working on is going to be a very big deal. I think that the only thing that they can possibly work on is probably trying to keep Naruto in a safe space so they don't get caught off guard by Urashiki. The thing that I like about Urashiki, and of course some of you guys hate this about Urashiki, a lot of you guys say that all he does is escape, but Urashiki isn't going to go into a situation where his plan A doesn't work and doesn't have a backup plan and just still tries to just force his way to the goal like Momoshiki did or like Kaguya did. Urashiki is going to go back, regroup, formulate a plan A, another plan B, and then come back and pretty much do that. So what Jiraiya and Sasuke are probably going to try to do is try to figure out exactly what Urashiki is going to do when he does come back. And not only that, the overall goal of Urashiki is still a mystery. I think that they're probably going to ask each other that and pretty much theorize what Urashiki wants to do with all the power. The thing that we did hear Sasuke say was pretty vague. He said he's probably trying to disrupt the shinobi world or something like that. It was really just super vague, and I really hope that they pretty much expound and pretty much explain what they think that Urashiki is trying to do, because we as an audience have absolutely no idea as of right now. But getting off of episode 133, going forward in episode 134, this episode is going to be the first episode of December. It's going to be December 1st. The title is going to be The Power to Predict the Future. Now going into the actual paragraph, it says Urashiki is targeting the Kyuubi chakra. Boruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya are enveloped once again into a fierce battle in order to protect the childhood version of Naruto from Urashiki. However, However, the four of them have gotten driven into a corner by Urashiki, who is particularly boasting to them about how he can predict the future. Meanwhile, Sasuke risks his own life to protect Naruto. And thanks to him, Boruto and his comrades narrowly escape from Urashiki, but by doing so, Sasuke goes missing and becomes completely unaccounted for. Now, after these spoilers, Organic Dinosaur actually did translate a different spoilers, and it was largely the same thing, but it did add something very key at the end of the spoilers. It says Sasuke's whereabouts become completely unknown to them. The one who coincidentally discovers and helps out that form of Sasuke is childhood version Sakura, who is searching for clues about Sasuke. Alright, now this right here seems to be a much more complicated and much more action-packed episode than episode 133. We understand that Urashiki in this episode is actually going to be attacking to basically find Naruto. Now, in this situation, it seems like Urashiki is probably going to have a different type of technique, and it's going to be to see the future. Now, in my opinion, I feel like this is probably going to be like a gimmick. This isn't necessarily going to be any move from his Rinnegan. This isn't necessarily going to be any Otsutsuki power. This is just going to be a gimmick. Now, how is he doing this? I have no idea, but we're probably going to figure out sooner or later, man, because if he had the ability to see into the future, he probably would have been doing it from the beginning. He probably would have been doing it from the jump and understood that a lot of his plans in the past wouldn't necessarily work. So this isn't necessarily going to be something that Urashiki is going to use heavily, but in this episode is definitely going to be a factor. Now, it says that Urashiki did drive them into a corner, and then Sasuke pretty much did something like a trump card move and then ended up successfully freeing Boruto, Naruto, and Jiraiya. But in the meantime, Sasuke pretty much got messed up himself, and then he got lost from the pack. Now, in this sort of situation, I really think this is going to be like one of the only times that Sasuke actually does use his Rinnegan or his Sharingan. It is very possible for Sasuke to possibly have used his Susanoo, and of course, him being in Susanoo, him being up that high, after he does finish off Urashiki or whatever he does with Urashiki, his body's probably going to be in the air suspended and pretty much go wherever the gravity takes him. Now, after that, Naruto and everybody else aren't going to know where he is because they're too busy escaping. But at that point, we don't really know the whereabouts of Urashiki. The thing about Urashiki is that we don't know if he's going to be okay. Of course, he's probably not going to be dead, but does he escape like he usually does with the blue Rinnegan? And of course, the biggest thing is he going to come back and probably try to finish off Sasuke? Now, in the other spoilers that I did translate from Organic Dinosaur, it did say that Sakura came back and she actually found Sasuke. Now, it said that what she was doing is she was trying to gather up information about the actual Sasuke from her timeline, which is very funny. I'm pretty sure that Sasuke is not going to spill any beans about where his actual child self is or anything like that, but this is going to be a very cool scene just to see Sasuke interacting with the childhood Sakura. We understand how Sasuke felt about the childhood Sakura back in the day. He was pretty much completely annoyed by Sakura, as I'm pretty sure a lot of the Naruto fan base was back in the day. But of course, this is going to be a very key time of her actually saving the adult Sasuke. And of course, it's going to be a very fun time to see Sasuke trying to keep that secret and not actually tell Sakura like, hey, I'm your husband from the future or something like that. But into the next episode, episode 135. Now, this episode is going to be the last episode of the spoilers, so buckle up. Now, this episode is how it's going to be the final decisive battle, Urashiki. Now, because of Boruto's quick-wittedness, they expose Urashiki's mechanism and tricks for predicting the future. Then they are somehow able to successfully inflict some damage onto Urashiki. However, that relief was also only for a brief amount of time. Urashiki stands back up and shows off another one of his trump cards, and yet again Boruto and his comrades find themselves standing in another dilemma. Amongst other things, they have been getting fatigued from all the fighting up until now as they battle to defeat Urashiki, who possesses the overwhelming power. Will they be able to protect the future of the ninja world and the Kyuubi chakra hidden within Naruto? Alright, now this episode seems to be extremely vague. They're pretty much setting the scene for the final battle of this arc. This right here probably is not going to be the last episode of the arc, but this spoilers is pretty much setting the stage. They're saying, hey, Urashiki is using his trump cards. Everybody's being backed into a corner again. They don't necessarily know if they can defeat Urashiki. Now, the thing that I am worrying about, or the thing that I am wondering about, is if Boruto and Naruto are going to be doing the father and son Rasengan on this episode to pretty much end off Urashiki. Now, I spoke about earlier how I think that would probably be a little bit corny. Of course, they're setting the scene up for that, but still, I just don't like it, but they might actually do that. Now, here's the thing that I am worried about with Urashiki. Is Urashiki going to probably escape again? He has that thing in his back pocket. He could pretty much escape whenever he wants to. He has the blue Rinnegan. Now, how are they going to pretty much stop Urashiki from doing that? I have no idea. This is probably going to be a situation where they catch Urashiki off guard. We understand that Sasuke himself, even though he's extremely drained right now, he's still extremely quick, and even him, he couldn't really catch Urashiki off guard, especially with the blue Rinnegan. Now, one of the things that I am really hoping to see, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are hoping to see this as well, is Jiraiya actually uses Sage Mode. We have seen Jiraiya use the Sage Mode before when he fought against Pain. That was when he tragically passed away, and seeing that juxtaposition of a Sage Mode fighting with an Uchiha, fighting with two young Genin, that would probably be absolutely amazing, and I really would like to see that go down. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys hope to see. But one of the biggest things is, of course, which episode are you guys most excited for? Episode 134 is definitely going to be a very cool scene to see the childhood Sakura help out the childhood Sasuke, and of course that's going to be the first time that Urashiki actually comes back to fight against everybody there and pretty much shows off his ability to see into the future. But of course episode 35 is going to be the episode where everything goes down, the episode where they're setting the scene. This is the final battle of Urashiki and Sasuke and everybody else, including of course the possibility of Jiraiya going to Sage Mode. It's just so much to look forward to. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. It's been your boy Barbie, and we out.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaving my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.